when I made this address before the South Africans, it was because I wanted to inform the public about the level of challenges that we're experiencing as a South African police service in relation to the work we do as the police, which involve criminality and the political interference on the work that we do as the police, which will also include corruption within the value chain of the justice system, which we are part of as law enforcement. That's why the presentation that is attached here will be used as a reference, which is marked. I'm not going to refer to all of them, but by and large, commissioners, that was to brief the nation to understand what challenges are we facing as a South African police service.
Are you the sole author of the content of that document, or do you have other people or persons that participate in the creation of that document and the information contained therein?
I must indicate, Commissioner, that this briefing which I made on the 6th of July, it is a product of the collective and collaborative efforts of various units within the South African Police Service. The majority of men and women in blue in this service who were responsible for, together with myself, in compiling this document. It is therefore a reflection of the common concerns that we share as colleagues in different ranks within the service, which made us to have a common desire for these problems to be resolved, and in order to enable these members of the service to be able to serve with honor and dignity.
You make what I consider to be an important point at paragraph 11 that I think you should share with the Commission, which would seem to speak to a risk in the absence of positive action. What is that risk? What is the fear and what is the risk?
Commissioner, on this paragraph level, it has been my aim that I want to demonstrate that the criminal justice system has been subject to a continuous threat, as well as sabotage, which has been with us over an extended period, to a point where we believe it is at real risk of a total collapse if nothing is done. Therefore, an urgent and effective interventions are required in order to avert this outcome. And I believe this commission will stand to play a very important role in order to help us to prevent this total collapse of the justice system in our country.
Your statement in that part concludes with a personal message. Would you like to deliver it at paragraph 12?
Yes, that's correct, Commissioner. As we had appeared before the South Africans on the 6th of July, I must first thank the media in South Africa for affording us an opportunity to be able to share our challenges with the public, which then, as a result, it helped the state president to establish this commission following that press briefing, which we also appreciate, as this commission is going to help us to deal with the challenges that we are facing as we execute our duties. And lastly, I want to thank the general public for having received our message very well. And I'm sure what we're going to talk about is not necessarily everything that the public are experiencing out there in terms of the experience they have as they interact with the justice system, but it is mainly to address those that we were speaking about on the 6th of July.
Thank you.
The day South Africa has been waiting for us here. Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has finally taken the stand before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, and the entire nation is holding its breath. This is not just another testimony. This is a moment that could change the course of South African politics forever, as President Cyril Ramaphosa, the ANC, and the very leadership of the SAPS find themselves under an unforgiving spotlight. For months, the Madlanga Commission has loomed like a storm cloud over the country, promising to dig deep into corruption, mismanagement, and the cracks within South Africa's law enforcement and political leadership. Now, with Mkhwanazi testifying, that storm has finally broken. His words carry not just weight, but the power to expose truths many in the ruling party would prefer to keep buried. Mkhwanazi, respected for his discipline and outspoken stance against corruption, has become a figure of hope for ordinary South Africans. Citizens see him as someone willing to stand against the tide, to call out the rot within the ANC and SAP's leadership, even if it means putting his own career on the line. His testimony is more than evidence. It's a voice for millions who feel betrayed by those in power. At the heart of this moment lies the ANC, once revered as the liberation movement that defeated apartheid, but now seen by many as a party crippled by infighting, greed, and endless scandals. From the Fela Farm scandal to accusations of state capture, the ANC's credibility is at its weakest point in decades. And in the middle of it all stands Cyril Ramaphosa, a president who promised reform but is now accused of acting more like a caretaker for corruption than a champion of justice. The Commission's decision to begin its first public hearings on September 17, 2025, at the Bridget Mabandla Justice College in Pretoria was no accident. It was a signal to the country and the world that South Africa is ready to confront its demons, no matter how high up they go. And with Mkhwanazi as the first witness, it was clear that the Commission wanted to start with a bang. For 3 to 4 days, and possibly even longer, Mkhwanazi will testify. Every sentence, every revelation, every pause carries the potential to shake the very foundations of the ANC. Already, reports suggest that he is prepared to name names, to outline how leadership failures within the SAPs have allowed corruption to thrive, and to show how political interference has turned policing into a weapon for power rather than protection. But why does this matter so deeply? Because ordinary South Africans are the ones paying the price. While billions are lost to corruption, communities suffer without water, electricity, and basic services. Crime spirals out of control, and the people entrusted to protect the nation are accused of being compromised. Mkhwanazi's testimony is not just about politics, it's about the lived reality of millions. Public reaction has been explosive. Social media is flooded with messages of support from Mkhwanazi. Hashtags linked to his testimony are trending across South Africa, with citizens calling him a man of courage and the voice of the people. Many say they finally feel someone inside the system is standing up for them, someone who refuses to remain silent in the face of corruption. At the same time, there is visible panic within the ANC. Whispers of backroom meetings, emergency strategy sessions, and attempts to downplay the Commission's importance are already emerging. The party knows that Mkhwanazi's words could ignite a fire that they may not be able to control. For Ramaphosa, the stakes are even higher. His presidency may not survive the storm. The drama unfolding in Pretoria feels almost cinematic. Imagine it, the grand halls of the Justice College filled with press, legal teams, and a public desperate for answers. Cameras rolling. South Africans watching from their phones, offices, and homes. And there, at the center, sits Mkhwanazi, delivering testimony that could echo across history. This is not just a hearing, it's a national reckoning. The truth is being laid bare, and for once, those in power cannot control the narrative. The Commission is led by Justice Madlanga, a man respected for his independence and refusal to bow to political pressure. His presence alone assures citizens that this process will not be another talk shop or cover-up. But the question remains, will words translate into justice? South Africans have heard promises before. They've witnessed commissions that produced reports but little action. This time, the demand is clear: there must be consequences. If corruption is exposed, those guilty must face the law, no matter how powerful they are. Can Ramaphosa weather the storm? Already weakened by the Fela scandal, accusations of indecision, and a party divided, his leadership is fragile. Mkhwanazi's testimony could push him to the edge. For the ANC, losing public trust any further could mean electoral disaster in the years ahead. Ordinary citizens are asking, if a man like Mkhwanazi has the courage to speak out, Why can't others? Why has the ANC protected corrupt leaders for so long? And most importantly, when will the suffering of the people finally come to an end? This moment has also sparked a deeper reflection on South Africa's democracy. Almost 3 decades after the first free elections, citizens are questioning whether the dream of freedom has been hijacked by greed. Did you expect this twist? Do you believe justice has really been served in cases like this before? The testimony is also a warning to other leaders. Accountability is coming, whether they like it or not. Citizens are awake, and commissions like this are becoming impossible to silence. Once the truth is spoken in public, it cannot be erased. For the SAPs, Mkhwanazi's words cut especially deep. The institution meant to uphold law and order is now being portrayed as riddled with corruption and compromised by politics. How can citizens trust their protectors when the protectors themselves are accused of betrayal? And yet, there is hope. South Africans are resilient. They want change. They want leaders who put the nation before themselves. Mkhwanazi's testimony is more than a critique. It's a spark of possibility that the system can still be saved, if only those with power are forced to act. Imagine, just for a moment, what could happen if this commission truly delivers. Imagine corrupt officials facing real justice, Ramaphosa being held accountable, and the ANC finally forced to reform or lose its grip on power. How would your community respond if such accountability became real? But until then, all eyes remain fixed on Pretoria. The cameras are rolling. The people are watching. And Mkhwanazi is speaking truths that can no longer be ignored. South Africa stands at a crossroads. The next few days will determine not just the future of one man or one party, but the very soul of a nation. So before you leave, don't just watch, take action. Like this video, share it widely, and